Hi, this is me on the streets of Harare carrying firewood. How did I get here? Before I became someone's wife, I was just a girl with a story. Here's mine. Let's rewind a bit. In 2019, I got married. October 2018, Lawrence firmly set his intentions to marry me. Well, actually, that was formally to my aunt, Ova Tete, as we call her. She's since retired and is back in Zimbabwe. To me, he had told me I would be his wife within weeks of meeting him in October 2017. His exact words were, "I'm going to marry you," and eventually proposed 2 years later in Croatia. At this point, we were already traditionally married. Back to my aunt. He took her out to dinner at a fancy French restaurant, with me in tow, of course, and he asked her to send word to the father, my dad, that a dude from the Zimbabwean family wanted to marry me. In order for my aunt to do this, Lawrence gave her a small token. My aunt sent the word, and my dad brought in the big guns, Sekru Baba Susan, also known as Sekru Kirian. I'm guessing Kilian is his actual name. Anyway, he became the go-between, or munyai, between Lawrence's family and ours. Sekru Kirian is a constant in our family traditional weddings, acting as go-between for many. So it made perfect sense. Once he was in place, a date was set as April 20th, 2019. Fast forward 5 months to March 2019. My mom's side of the family, most of whom are here in the UK, were all gathered at a Thanksgiving event celebrating family and life. I took Lawrence to this event and introduced him to everyone. We had fun, and a few days later, I flew to Zimbabwe. Lawrence couldn't come with me, so I had to navigate the whole Roora process myself. Roora, also known as Lobola in other parts of Southern Africa, is a traditional bride price negotiation ceremony. I was nervous. I wanted everything to go well. Who wouldn't? But you can never predict people's behavior no matter how good your intentions are. So I went with a hope and a prayer and trusted God to step in where I needed him. I stayed with my sister Natsai. I usually spend a few days in Harare seeing my family here before heading to Masvingo where Dad lives. Apart from pestering my cousin Kudzai to take us to lunch, we spent the time frolicking in Harare. Natsai is special to me in this Roora process because she became me. When distance made sure I couldn't be there, she became my voice, my presence, long before I ever visited Mom and Dad in Chitungwiza. She would visit them, take gifts, and just usually do Mrora-like things. For those unfamiliar, Mrora duties are a big part of the Roora process. It's about showing respect and humility, but also building a relationship with your future in-laws. Being a Mrora is about the small things, bringing gifts, being present, helping out, that quietly speak volumes about your intentions and your character.
So what toppings? Oh, toppings as well. Nice. Honeycomb.
We then hired a vehicle to go to Chitungwiza for the first time for me.
In the sky, together you and I belong, like the songbird.
We first drove to Highfields to pick up my cousin, Mainini Ruth, who would stand in the gap for my late mom. She had been instructed by her tete, my Mainini, also in the UK. Mainini couldn't make the journey, hence my cousin stepped in. Ruth is now in the UK. I can't fully express how emotional this part was, seeing people step in with such love and honour. That sense of being carried by your village and your family is something I'll always carry with me.
Tiri pano tashika pa sijana. Sijana. Tina maini vedu. Na Kayla. Tina nya. Tina mama. Hello mama. Tambirai. Ndakasvika aiwa tauya nerimwe divi. Aiwa baba. Aiwa tauya nerimwe divi. Baba.
We enjoyed a lovely afternoon, and these are my first photos with my new in-laws. Meeting the Roora squad that would drive to Masvingo to get their queen. If you're lost at that reference, that queen is me. Monday we dropped off the car and I took my usual bus journey to Masvingo. I would spend about 13 days slowly preparing for Roora Day. I was truly home, and this was really happening. Pause, breathe. This was one of those moments I wish I could bottle. If you're watching this and feeling nervous about your own Roora journey, just know it's okay. I was too. A time for reflection and some jar praiser. Besides preparations, I spent time with family too. These are my relatives. They were so excited to hear of my Roora, they decided to shower me with praise. They are also my late mom's peers, and it's always a bitter pill to swallow seeing these women, and I can't help thinking what this process could have been for Mom. I can imagine her pride and joy. Here's a snippet of her singing at our cousin's wedding. Now back to the ladies.
Zofaya. Yes.
Why are you laughing? Huh?
Preparations included kusakura, getting rid of weeds, and writing down everything that needed doing. There was a window that needed fixing, and I had to buy paint and all the accessories needed to paint the room we would be receiving Laurie's Roora team. All of which the first man I ever loved, my dad, would fix and paint.
Ordinary water so I can
At this point, my big sister Farai had arrived from South Africa, and was there for some much needed moral support.
Thanks for being busy.
I couldn't fathom doing this without her, and I'll forever be grateful. I would drive back and forth a few times between home in town and kumusha or kupraz, opening my own gates in the process. On another day, we would take Dad's pickup truck to the river to wash the carpet that would go in the room and also to wash blankets in preparation for the many visitors we would receive. Also in case my new family decided to sleep over. All of this might sound simple, but it felt monumental. Every task was infused with meaning. It wasn't just preparing a space, it was preparing a new chapter, honoring tradition and creating sacred ground.
On my way to Musha. Final preps. Today's Independence Day and I'm on my way to Musha. Where are we going? Kumusha. And yeah, in 2 days' time I will no longer be considered single. Oops. But yeah, so looking forward to it, but I've got my little sister there in the background. Hey, wave. Say hi.
Hi.
Wave. Wave. Wave.
We spent a few days in Masvingo town before heading off Kumusha for the final time as a single woman. On this day, Thursday, it was actually Zimbabwe Independence Day, and I remember thinking how much of a non-event it felt as everyone went about their day.
Cheers.
Friday, we spent the day finalizing preparations and a small group of people started to arrive. We started to cook food. I was genuinely hard at work. Although there were 3 people on this pot, in our defense, it was just way too hot. There's something magical and terrifying about the night before a traditional ceremony. You're aware that it's bigger than you. You're stepping into a legacy. You feel the weight of expectation, tradition, joy, and transformation all at once. It's overwhelming, but in the best way possible. Love isn't just about the day you say, I do. It's in the preparation, the people who stand in for you, and the soil that raised you. See you in part 2 where the cows come home. Thanks for watching.